because
Oh, the
Florida
Florida
has
guard. Yeah,
7-9
the
guy.
Florida team's there.
And there's a clip of him in the White House talking to the president. It's kind of funny. It doesn't even look
massive.
Look, Johnny. It doesn't even really look. I mean, I'm stealing what Clay Travis said. He said it doesn't look real. It doesn't look real. It looks really ridiculous.
That's pretty funny.
So we're catching Kelly. What is today? Wednesday, May 21st. We're catching Kelly. You're actually at home.
Thank God.
I thought you'd become one of those perma vacationers.
I have not went on a single vacation. I was in Detroit, which is not a vacation, and it was freezing. And then I go to Chicago, and we got one gorgeous day, and then it was also freezing. I am.
So just because the weather determines whether or not something's a vacation.
Okay, listen.
No,
here's what Detroit looks like. We go to the WagerTalk offices. Well, let me rephrase it. We get there on a Sunday.
Okay.
No problem. Flight, great. Get to the hotel. We don't have your room. What do you mean you don't have my room? Hotels.com screwed up. We don't have a room for you. Or John Hoagland. But we have a room for Dan, who's our other producer. I'm like, that makes no sense. I booked them all together. Yeah, well, here you go. So JH and I get stuck at like the Fairfield Inn, like on the other side of town. And no, it was
Fairfield Inn. I stayed at a Fairfield Inn. I stayed at a Fairfield Inn in Yankton, South Dakota. It was nice.
I think I'm getting pretty snotty about hotel rooms these days. But anyway, so after that crisis got averted, I was ready for a margarita. And Andy Lang had his car, so he picked me up, said, let's go get margaritas. So we had a couple margaritas. Then Dan landed. We had a couple more drinks.
This sounds like a vacation. Hotel rooms,
it was not.
Margaritas. This sounds like a vacation.
By the time JH landed, I was like, listen, we're done drinking. I'm going to bed. We spent like 12 hours in the office every day. And then I have to take out these youngsters every night. And the one night I was going to go to bed early, JH is like, why are you going to go out the last night? And then I end up out with him at some dive bar playing pinball machines and Pop-A-Shot and pull tabs until, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, I just can't do this anymore. So no, it's not a vacation. Vacation is where you go and you relax. Then I came home for a day. And then I went to Chicago and did the same exact thing.
Wait, you went from Detroit to Florida to Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh, I just assumed you went from Detroit to Chicago.
Listen, that would have been the smarter thing to do, but here's the problem.
Okay.
I had already booked the Chicago trip, and Brett flies with me for free everywhere on Southwest. And then, obviously, the company paid me to fly Delta to Detroit, and it was like, yeah, I could have just flown to Chicago and met him there, but then I would have had to cancel my flight, then he would have had to pay for his flight.
Yeah.
Too many moving parts. And sleeping in your own bed was worth it for 2 nights for me to come home.
This sounds a lot like a vacation. You know, you're out with JH is Johnny Hoagland, our social media
He's
guy.
like 26 years old. I am too old to be hanging out with these guys. Our other producers are like 32.
I'm glad you said that because I've been one of the things I want to talk to Kelly about is I keep seeing you having these social media beefs. And I noticed when we were out when I was out with Kelly for the national or after the national championship game, there were so many like what I would call jabronis there, and it's my fault. I invited all of them, but there were just so many like losers and jabronis that were there, and losers is a really strong word.
That was kind of mean. I think there's like 2 losers in that group.
Let's say jabronis. Okay. Because they were definitely jabronis. So there are all these jabronis there, and they're watching this game, and everybody's drunk and being an idiot. And I just kind of looked at Kelly and I just was like, I don't really think this is what your life should be anymore, Kelly. Like, I don't think meaning like, I'm not judging you. I don't think you enjoy it anymore. And then I see you getting into all these beefs on social media with guys.
First of all, I had a lot of fun that night playing video blackjack with JH's grandma when she was like playing like 50 cents a spin. And then I just kept hitting let it ride 18 times and she won like $300. That was like the highlight of my night.
That sort of is your wheelhouse. I'll give you that. Yeah. But I think, and then now I see you're bickering with these people on Twitter. I will call them losers because they are a bunch of losers. And I just think to myself, like, I feel like your past is part of your life.
Yeah, I would think so.
Tell me.
Let me paint the picture for you, right?
Paint it.
I'm not betting on anything. I don't have anything really going on right now.
You bet the under at a wind blowing up.
I'm not betting daily. Okay, listen. I'm sorry for being a contrarian asshole. That is beside the point. I was in hell, like right in the middle of the first inning, so it didn't matter. I was also in hell because I had 14 people with me at the game, and those types of logistics are not the greatest. Anyway, should have sat in the bleachers with JH and got sunburnt, but I did not.
You got to sit in the bleachers at Wrigley.
Yeah, but you can't with kids. And so my niece and nephew were there.
Oh, you didn't tell me that part.
Yeah. So
all
right,
it's
a different dynamic, whatever. So anyway,
didn't know that.
Basically, I feel like I've just been kind of like lagging on social media. I hired a new agent, and he's like, listen, you've got to start like churning out some content so that we can get you some new sponsorships for all your shows and things like that. He's like, gotcha. I know you're like in your slow season. He's like, but you got to stay relevant.
You do this? It is your slow season.
Because it has not been slow whatsoever. I am exhausted. So slow season or not, the other night I'm sitting out. It's like 40 degrees. We got a fire going. Sitting out, just having a couple of little seltzers with my buddies, and I get a forwarded Twitter message from some dork that asks Jeffrey Benson for a free room every time he comes to Vegas. Just like
Benson from Circa.
Me and says he's gonna track me on Sammy P and Joe O's show every Thursday. And I'm like, why would you do that? And in my head, I'm like, this is a good promotion for Pickett right now. I haven't said anything about Pickett because it's attached to my gambling apps and I haven't been gambling. So I was like, George, here's the easy answer. Just follow me on Pickett. Then you get every single thing I bet. And it's just really easy. And anyway, so
hold on a second. How does that work?
The only reason why I even replied to him.
I got a question. So if I made a bet on like my station's account, it would show up on Pickett?
Yes.
Really?
But only legal books.
Stations is legal? That can't be right.
No, I'm saying like for me. So the only legal book I have here in Florida is Hard Rock.
Why did you go like this again?
Because you get the gist. Anyway, so like for example,
these are literally
when I posted my year to date, right? Or not even my year to date, my 2025, it doesn't even include my Florida 40-1 bet because I bet that not at the Hard Rock, if you catch my drift, right?
I catch your drift. You're talking about an illegal bookie. Got it.
Okay, great. Thank you. I can't wait for the feds to show up in my house, John Murray. But that's the point. It's like, look, here you go. You can see everything. It doesn't get any more transparent. That's the only reason why I even replied to him. And that's the other reason why I didn't reply to the others. Because I'm like, you just want attention and I'm not going to give it to you because you're irrelevant in my life.
Whoa. Well, I think you're not going to like what I have to say next.
Oh, boy.
But I'm just being honest, because I was a little, Johnny knows, I was a little struck when we logged in. You look really good. Like you got your hair done. I mean, you're rocking right now. Is it because all these people have been criticizing you on Twitter for your looks?
No, it's because I actually had a hair appointment. I book a hair appointment every 8 weeks on Wednesday morning so that I don't have to do my hair for all my shows. And this morning, Cheyenne said, hey, you're getting a little dark, like, roots. And I said, let's blonde it up for the summertime.
Yeah, man. Okay. All right. Well, you got a lot of people criticizing you. Well, you get really upset when they
Should
criticize.
We measure my forehead? I asked the guy
your forehead.
The guy that said I had a big forehead. Should we measure? I think it's like almost exactly 3 inches, but I can't quite tell.
What is big?
I don't know. That's the funny thing. I'm like, bro, say I'm chubby right now, like everybody in my mentions. You wouldn't be wrong. I got to stop drinking a little bit. I got to lose like 10 pounds. But like, I don't think I have a big forehead.
I don't think so. I think you I think you look fine. I enjoy getting you going. But I kind of feel like you're past that part of your life with these people. Like,
but here's the thing you don't remember and like you don't see. Like that night at the bar, I got to see some of like guys like Matt Humans, who was like a definite mentor in my life. I got to see some other guys that I haven't seen in a long time. So it was nice to catch up. But like just the other day when JH and I were at the Detroit Tigers game, I met some awesome women. One of them has been listening to the show since its inception. Like I watched at least 5 innings with them because I was like just getting to know them. And like, she's like, yeah, I'm a college professor. I teach like a sports management company or course. And I'm like, wait, what? I do like meeting people. That's why I usually say yes. I'm a social person. I'm a people person. And like, it's fun for me to meet new people that are awesome. And that's why I guess I do still like that part of it.
Well, obviously I'm teasing Kelly about all of this, except for this part. I'm going to be serious for one moment. I think you meet some of these people. I'm not talking about the lady in Michigan. I think you meet some of these people and they take advantage of you because you're too nice. I mean, I've told you before, you're trying to support too many people. You're not LeBron James, Kelly. Stop letting all these people mooch off of you, and they use you for clout or for whatever else, and I don't like it.
I do think it's funny that you told me before we started that the guy who said I'm a fraud literally came up and shook your hand and said that he was good friends with me and lives in my town.
That was several years ago.
It doesn't matter.
That's I don't know that I shook hands. I don't know that I shook hands.
But that's insane, and that's why Kelly Lee posted, at Mad Fat Teacher. If you don't follow her, she is hilarious.
True.
That's why she just went after him, because she knows that's how I met him, was through her and her buddy Sean.
I think some of these people kind of take advantage. Take advantage might not be the right way to say it, but I think you know what I'm saying.
Well, they generally want something. What are they
doing for you?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's okay in life to be selfish. If the relationship is always them taking, I don't really think you're selfish to be like, fuck off. Don't bleep that out. Leave that F word in. Do they normally bleep? Do you guys normally bleep that out?
No, but you know what I did notice? I looked today because we're moving podcast platforms, and we're going to be on more things like Amazon and a couple other ones. But I noticed we don't have the explicit tab marked, and I kind of think we might be explicit.
What is that? Is that for pornography or is it for language?
I think it's because we say fuck 8 times a show, but
okay. I will try to curse less. I'm sorry.
What are you gonna do?
No, I'm sorry I cursed. So we were going to do a show on, I think, last Wednesday, but we decided to push it back a week because the NFL schedule came out last Wednesday, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. And we got out week 1. And I figured that I feel like your fans, all they want to talk about is football. Is that not...
NFL? Get this.
No, they like college football. I don't know.
I want you to think about this. So I've been doing a lot of stuff with analytics, whether it's with WagerTalk or with my own brand with this new agent. This is what he told me. Okay, if you had to say what was my favorite sport, we all know it's college football, right?
College football for sure. Yeah.
He did an audit of my stuff. He goes, 75% of your content is college football or college basketball related. About 15% is NFL, and everything else is just random shit. Wow. He goes, I need 60% of your content to be NFL.
Yeah.
You're never going to want to do the show with me again.
Kelly, I'll say this as nicely as I can. I mean, you have so, well, actually, it's a nice thing to say. You have so much more knowledge of college than pro football. Wouldn't you say that that's true?
Yeah.
I don't really feel like you have any passion for NFL.
No,
I think you should probably fire this agent.
No, because what he's trying to do is get me all these brand deals. And he's like, NFL, it basically says NFL is king. Do your college football, do your stuff with the Superbook, keep your parlay.
Yeah.
But remember, a few years ago for the Superbook, I did 32 NFL preview videos. Yep, he's like, those have to come back. He was like, and I didn't do them last year because I was in Italy with Ariel and we're doing other stuff and it just kind of got pushed to the wayside. But he's like, that you need to do in July. He's like, we need 32 preview videos in July for your content. I'm like, okay, great.
How many days did that take you to film 32 videos? And how much prep work did you do?
A lot of prep work.
Okay.
The good news is there's a lot of guys that do stuff for you, right? Ralph Michaels already has a database at WagerTalk. So if I need something, I ask. Teddy Covers starts doing NFL stuff weeks ago, right after the draft. So if I have any questions early, Warren Sharp sends me that phone book every single year, right? There's a lot of work that's already done. And then I just kind of write up what I think is pertinent and how I would bet each and every team, whether it's over or under the season win total, whether it's a certain team, a certain player prop, yes, no, playoffs, depending on what offerings we're going to be at the Superbook. But I can't believe that I have to have that much NFL content. I'm like, that's a lot.
We can do NFL content. We both know the NFL. You know the NFL.
I just don't love it. I mean, I don't hate it, but I college football. It's just different. Even though I feel like NIL is kind of starting to ruin it a little bit.
Ruin's a big word, but I would say that the way I would look at the NIL is I think it's changed college sports for the worse. And I was talking to my brother about this a couple of days ago, my brother Petey. Why, and maybe there is an answer, why does the NBA still make players go to college for a year? If they're paying them anyway, why can't they just go straight to the NBA? Has anybody answered that question?
Well, who was the last one not to? LeBron?
No, they changed the rule. You have to go to college for a year.
But he was the last one that was exempt, right?
I think Dwight Howard came after LeBron. I think Dwight Howard was like the year after LeBron. But the guys in like the Greg Oden era, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, they all would have been top draft picks out of high school. So would Cooper Flagg, obviously. They had to go to college for a year. Why? They're paying these guys anyway.
Some of them might be making more in college to stay than they would be in the NBA. I mean, there's a guy from K-State that just won like some Chinese national championship, and I'm like, oh my God, Barry Brown, I loved him.
Well, I'm talking about like the extreme.
Oh, you mean like the best, the best?
I think LeBron got $100 million from Nike as soon as he went pro. You're not going to get that. And I mean, I'm talking the extreme, the LeBron James. Cooper Flagg is going to make a lot of money in endorsement deals in the NBA. Do you think the NBA fixed the draft lottery?
I've had a lot of people ask me that. I think it is I'll say this. I think if they don't want people to think the NBA is fixed, they should probably not let a team that has a 1% chance of getting the #1 overall pick right after they traded away their best player.
I don't know. See, I feel like
I think it's fixed.
I feel like the David Stern era, the NBA was like scripted TV, like when the Chicago Bulls got to the Eastern Conference playoffs in the 90s, there was no way they were going to lose. And then the Lakers in the late 90s, the early 2000s, there was no way they were going to let them lose. They had to win. They had to set up all these big matchups. I don't feel like they do that anymore. And it's evidenced by the fact that this year you're going to get your 7th different champion in 7 years in the NBA.
Which I think is kind of nice. Like, I don't have dynasties anymore, but I do think it's kind of nice getting some new blood in there.
I don't think it's good for business. I'll tell you, for betting business, we like having a big dog. We like having a team that everybody's trying to knock off the pedestal. I don't know about that. I mean, the highest handle NBA finals I saw were when LeBron was playing Golden State. When LeBron was with Cleveland and he played Golden State, and Golden State had those really like great teams. LeBron actually had a couple of decent players around him in that era. And those finals were awesome. And we did so much business on them. I don't know, but I don't think they fixed it for Flagg. I think Flagg could not have gone to a better situation, right? I mean, that's a team that's going to go into next season expecting to make the playoffs, and it won't all be on his shoulders.
I think that's probably fair.
Well, usually if you're the first overall pick, we can go back to LeBron. I mean, when he first got to Cleveland, that team was just god awful.
And then he had to go to Miami just to get away from them.
And he went to Miami, and then then obviously played on great teams in Miami. But usually when you're the first pick, your team sucks. And I don't think that's
with anything. It's like it's the same thing with the NFL draft. That's the idea, is that you go to a shitty team because they need you the most.
Of course. NFL. I wrote down some stuff because I thought you'd want me to clip it. Or no, the social media guys clip it. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to do anything. That's a funny story. When we met with Westgate last summer to continue doing the show, and I was like, you have to hire John too, because Kelly and we don't actually do anything for the show. Like I don't know how to do anything. John and Louie do all the actual work. Fair? No.
I think that's definitely fair. Like I said, I was in this meeting today as the director of media relations, finally doing my job. Like, that's my namesake at WagerTalk, but talking to this podcast company, and she's like, do you this and this and this? I'm like, ma'am, I don't even have our login. And she's like, what? I'm like, give me a second.
You've been slacking, man.
Yeah, I just got to get it from like JH. He's got it because it's his job to upload this shit, not mine.
I think it's too much of you. You're vacationing too much. You're not on the ball enough. You know what I mean?
Okay, it is 6:30 p.m. on the East Coast. After this show, I'm going to flip a load of laundry and I'm going to bed.
That sounds great. So I think one of the teams that is going to be a really hot team that a lot of people are going to be picking to do well this year is going to be New England. But if you look at the way that maybe the games have been lined, weeks 1 through 18, the market, I think, probably is opening a little high on New England. And we saw money come in on the Raiders plus 3.5 pretty much right away. First week, Raiders at Patriots, Raiders plus 3.5. So the sharp money did come on, I almost said Oakland. It's been like 10 years. I almost said Oakland.
Yeah, it still feels like San Diego Chargers.
The sharp money did. Oh, of course, everybody says that. The sharp money did come in on the Raiders, but I do think New England, because Drake May looks like he's legit. They were very aggressive in free agency. They hired Mike Vrabel. I think New England's going to be a hot team, and I'm not telling you what to do with that information. I just think that.
So you think they're going to be a bet against team?
I didn't say
maybe
that.
A little overvalued.
I think that they're going to be
they're going to ruin some survivor picks this year a few times.
I don't know. NFC South game week 1, Buccaneers. They bet them from Pick'em. They're now -1.5. They're at Atlanta. I like Baker Mayfield. Have I ever told you that? I find him. I really like him. I think he's good. And then Monday Night Football.
Well, let's go back to Baker really quick, because I think Baker is a great example. I used him when Hakeem and I were arguing about Shedeur Sanders, and you're
talking about Hakeem Prophet from WagerTalk.
Yeah, we argue all the time.
Have you guys ever had a conversation that wasn't contentious?
No. But I told him, I go, there's a guy that I did not like. Yeah. I did not like Baker at OU. I thought he was a jackass.
Okay.
Plants his flag at Ohio State, all that jazz.
What's so bad about that?
It's just a dickhead move. There's a reason why I think Ohio State made that illegal. Like, I think the state legislature passed something that made it illegal. Whatever.
Can I just tell you that I think that if a player planted a flag on a field and then the other team went to the state to get that banned, I would say the jackass in that scenario is the team.
Correct.
Not the player. I think.
But you know how we feel about Ohio State fans. But JH said we have to save my least favorite fan bases for the show at the Las Vegas Country Club in a couple of weeks.
Okay, go ahead.
So we will.
Anyhow, why are you fighting with Hakeem Prophet from Wager?
I'm saying Baker has really grown on me. I thought he was a total and utter douchebag.
But what does that do with Hakeem?
It was talking about Shedeur. I said maybe Shedeur will start to grow on me, but right now I think he's kind of a douchebag.
Okay.
He's like that. He's like, you're never going to like him. I'm like, that's not true. I did not like. Okay, let's use another example. Let's pivot to golf. Okay. I did not like Bryson DeChambeau until him and Brooks started going at it. And I'm like, I kind of like Bryson.
Why do all golf people not like Bryson? Somebody should explain.
I love him now. I think he's great. But there was
the kids that work for us, that are like big golf people, like that play golf, that watch golf, they're like really big golf enthusiasts. They all hate DeChambeau. And I don't understand it. I mean, it seems like he goes out of his way with the fans.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch. I mean,
I think him being on Live has been really great for his overall branding, because it is a lot more lax and you get to enjoy it just a little bit more. I think Bryson, Baker Mayfield, 2 great examples of guys that I did not like that I like now, because they've just either shown their personality in a different way or kind of just marketed themselves better. Like, no one likes a douchebag.
Why can't DeChambeau hit a fucking wedge shot, man? I bet on this guy last week. I love to watch golf. He hit like a 380-yard drive right in the middle of the fairway, and he's like, "Oh, he's got 90 yards of the green. Oh well, he's got a 50-foot putt now. What the hell?"
Don't ask me. I know nothing. I can't hit a wedge shot.
I don't even think, Scotty, you can't hit a wedge shot. You're not Bryson DeChambeau.
All right. So who am I to judge?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. I like Bryson DeChambeau. I don't understand why golf fans hate him. I need somebody to explain that to me. Why do golf purists hate him? Is it just because instead of spending his prime on the tour, he went to LIV? Who wouldn't go to LIV? I think
they hated him before that, though.
I think they did too. I like him. I don't.
Yeah, listen, I think he's way better than Brooks. I became Team Bryson, thus I started liking Bryson. I also like Baker Mayfield. I thought he's done a really good job in Tampa. I think Tampa is going to win the NFC South again. We'll see.
They bet him week 1. And that's it's week 1. It's not the end of the world, but that is a pretty crucial game. I think last year that division came down to those 2 teams, right? And Carolina is still rebuilding. New Orleans has a really big mess of a situation.
Who's going to be their quarterback?
I don't know. I mean, your producer, Louis
guy,
says Spencer Rattler. I didn't even know that Spencer Rattler was in the NFL.
Stop. Yes, you did. You knew he played for the Saints.
I know stuff like that. Spencer Rattler.
I don't think he should be their starting quarterback, but
I don't either.
Again, I'm not an NFL head coach.
That's a crucial game. And then there's
Saints are our least favorite team because Chris Thurston made us take them in Survivor on the road last year. And then Dennis Allen at least got fired to make it less.
I don't think Chris Thurston forced us to do anything. I feel like you This is what we always say.
I am implementing rules this year. When we get in the Westgate's $5,000 one, there will be strict rules, and we will be abiding by all of them.
Well, your partners are going to have a great time. That sounds like so much fun. I'm not going to be in that with you. That you can do that with the other guys. You can do that with the other guy. You just set up all these rules. It sounds terrible. I don't want.
You're not allowed to join it anyway. It's your contest.
I'm not going to be in that contest. I'll do Circa. I'll do the Circa Survivor. I like that contest. I'm sure I'll do one of those. Win totals. I wrote down 2 more that we saw in the last couple of weeks. Almost at San Diego. You're right. The Los Angeles Chargers over 9.5 wins. The Dallas Cowboys over 7.5 wins. Dallas is a team I think is really interesting because they finally got rid of that bozo coach, but then all they did was just promote the offensive coordinator. Is that correct? And they still have Dak Prescott, which is just ridiculous to me. I don't understand.
But if Dak stays healthy, he's not going to be bad.
Okay.
7.5 wins.
Philadelphia is.
Here's the good news. They play in the NFC least. It's Philadelphia. Philadelphia is going to win.
Washington was in the NFC Championship game last year.
Oh, I guess you're right. Good point. Good point.
I don't know. I think that division is a little bit tougher than you think it is.
Sophomore slump for Daniels. Maybe.
I don't think he will. I actually like what Washington's done. They've really made it a key priority in the offseason to fix the offensive line, which is exactly what the Chicago Bears did too with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, that worked out really well for them.
I'm talking about the offseason, this offseason, kid.
I'm taking the Bears under whatever. What do you have? What is the line on the Bears? 7.5? 8?
No, let me get the Bears. I know I actually have a Bears note in here for you. It's 8.5, and they are betting the under. But what I was going to tell you.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? It's been free money.
I don't know what the price was. They bet us on hold your horses, kid. They bet no Bears to not make the playoffs. -160 now. Bears to not make the playoffs.
I'll wait till a bunch of Bears fans like John Hoagland come in and bet that, and maybe I can lay like $1.20 later on.
Why do you hate Caleb Williams? You know he's a fellow Gonzaga graduate.
I don't hate anybody. I just don't think that they are any good.
But the Redskins or the Commanders and the Bears, they did the same thing this offseason where they prioritized their offensive line. You can't play quarterback in the NFL without an offensive line.
You can't call them the Redskins either. So here we are.
The football team. Do you want to do the mailbag?
The mailbag.
You know what's funny? We didn't even talk about the NBA or the NHL, did we? I don't even know. We need. I'll do it really quickly. We need Oklahoma City to win the NBA title because the guys that work here that book the NBA told me that there's only 3 teams that can win, and they told me this months ago, and they booked it accordingly, and only one of them's left. So it's all about the Oklahoma City Thunder. And
you guys need the Thunder or they're fired.
Yeah, we set it up to where we would do great on these 3 teams because I was told that they're the only ones that had a chance to win. 2 of them are out. So
yikes.
And then the NHL, I really have to say that the Knights being out, the Vegas Golden Knights being out, and then I think Toronto being out too, I don't see this moving the needle a ton. You've got Florida, Carolina. I know that those are great teams. I don't know how much it's going to move the needle in betting in Nevada. What I would like to see is the Knicks beat Indiana because I think the Knicks would be good for business. Knicks Thunder would be really good for business, I hope. But it's not going to do the numbers of LeBron James against Golden State. It won't do those numbers.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I'm going to complain.
You just wanted the Celtics so bad. I'm really sorry.
We did.
All right. So, mailbag. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, P_Ryan 22276 says, will you be talking PLL again this year? That was awesome last year. Actually, I just got off the phone with those guys, running it back. Ariel's going to do player props. I'm going to do sides and totals again. That was really profitable. You used to call me a contrarian asshole.
Ariel's going to do PLL player props. What does she know about that?
It doesn't matter.
What does she know about
You don't need to know anything. That's the beauty of the sport. I knew nothing going into last year. I barely even understood the rules. I would have to call Dan all the time, be like, what just happened? What did I miss? And he's like, oh, this guy did this. And it's like,
who's Dan?
my buddy that works for the PLL, that was like, Kelly, come do the PLL. Anyway, we got a lot of impressions. Jade did a really good job with the social media video, so we're gonna run it back, and I gotta find somewhere to bet it because, yeah, well, that's a whole other argument.
John and Louie, don't clip out that thing where I said, "What does Ariel know about that?" I love Ariel. That was a moment of weakness. I'm sure she'll be fine.
This guy has 2 questions.
Yeah, how do you get in the mailbag twice?
I don't know, because I even submitted a question to the chat.
I submitted a question. I have a question. I have a question this week.
You have a question, but I also texted. Now I forget who sent it to me, so now I'm not going to answer it. But we're going to take this guy's 2 questions. Money.m1 key on IG says, should the tush push be banned? Did you see that earlier? They decided it's not against the rules, and the Eagles are going to be able to push their way into a possible another Super Bowl.
I don't think it should be banned. I think it looks to me like the Eagles came up with a great play that, I mean, one thing we talked about last year during the NFL playoffs was we were going back and looking at quarterbacks from over the years and who would have been great at the tush push. I think Andrew Luck would have been awesome at it, because he was so smart and he was so big and he was pretty fast too. No, I don't think it should be banned. Figure out how to stop them from doing it. I don't know.
Or start doing it yourself. I don't understand why other teams can't do it.
I don't know. Ask any of those guys, any NFL player, because they've been asked this in interviews before. What's the best play to run on 4th and inches? They'll all say quarterback sneak. And I know that Belichick pioneered having them, Belichick and Brady, they got into that rhythm where if they got to 4th and short, Brady just ran up there before the defense could sub anybody on, and he would just get the first down. It wasn't the tush push, but it was essentially the same thing. And no one had a problem with that. I don't know. I don't even like
the NFL loved them some Tom Brady for probably obvious reasons.
I don't even like the Eagles. Who doesn't like Tom Brady?
I love Tom Brady. Right. See, there's another guy who really grew on me actually during his roast. I thought he was awesome. I love to bet against Tom Brady when it was past 8 p.m. Eastern, because that's his bedtime. All right. The same guy, money.m1 key on IG says, is the MLB season too long? Of course it is. We're like, it feels like it's been going on for months, and it's been going on for like a month.
Terrible question. That should have been called out of the mailbag. Of course not. It's just like, do you think the Premier League season is too long?
No, it's 3 months. It's perfect.
No, the Premier League soccer.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Premier Lacrosse League.
Premier League ends this weekend, and then it doesn't come back until the middle of August. That's brutal. It's almost 3 months without Premier League football.
Okay,
absolute nightmare. Baseball season should be longer. Keep going.
Oh my God, this is funny. I know exactly what he's talking about. Seattle Steam FTR. Is that Siam on Thai or whatever it's called worth going to? It's called Lotus of Siam.
Yeah.
And great. Yes, it's very good. But he's asking if you should also just stick to a steakhouse. He's coming to Vegas with his wife to get into the contest. Yes, if you're looking for something different and kind of a hole in the wall, not so safe area in Las Vegas, I highly recommend going to Lotus of Siam. The new place is a lot safer than the old, and it's a lot cleaner than the old.
Yeah, there are new locations on Flamingo. It's over kind of like by like Silver Sevens, that part of town. Now, they also have another new location. I haven't been to this one. They have another one at the Red Rock.
Did not know that.
I've never been there. I did hear, and I haven't been there, but I did hear it's not quite as good as the original and the one on Flamingo. But I haven't actually been there. It's just one person said that to me. But I can tell you the one on Flamingo is every bit as good as the original. It's awesome.
Okay.
Yes. Great.
Yeah. There you go. But yes, you should always just go to a steakhouse because Vegas steakhouses are by far the best. Good luck in the contest. Vegas Marion X says, what's Kelly's take on Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark saga?
Don't you have to talk about this? I feel like I like the shows where 2 grown men are like practically in tears arguing about, and then I have my take on it too. That is kind of.
Let's hear your take. I can't wait to hear your take.
I think that Angel Reese is stupid like a fox. I think she knows exactly what she's doing. I think she's doing this to stay relevant. I think it's all calculated on her part. I mean, she shoved a girl in the back, grabbed the rebound, and all Clark did was what you're taught to do in basketball. Don't let somebody have a layup, just foul them. And she like throws a fit and starts yelling at her. And guess what? Now everybody's talking about her. The clip's all over the internet. It's all over TV. Caitlin Clark is the biggest star in that league by a mile, right? And Angel Reese has managed to, and I'm giving her credit, I'm not criticizing her. She's managed to sort of like attach herself to the biggest star in the league. And now she somehow is the biggest star in the league's rival, even though she's nowhere near one of the best players. And I'm sure it's probably going to make her a lot of money. I think she's not, I really believe that there's no way that somebody as accomplished as a basketball player. Angel Reese is a professional basketball player who's won a national championship in college. She knows exactly what Caitlin Clark was doing there, fouling her and making her earn the points on the line. That's what you're taught to do. So why is she throwing a fit like that? Stupid like a fox.
Stupid like a fox.
What do you think? You tell me.
What I was going to say was, in order for me to answer this, A, I would have to watch the WNBA, and 2, I'd have to care about the WNBA. Two things that just don't happen.
You didn't see that clip?
No.
Oh, come on.
I got texted like a day later because RG3 and Ryan Clark and like all, like you said, these grown men on ESPN are fighting about it. And it's like,
years, yeah.
What? Like, is it that slow of a news cycle right now? This is it. And then that whole thing about this guy's wife and this guy's baby mom, I'm like,
Angel Reese staying very relevant. God,
I guess so.
She's not Caitlin Clark. She's not Asia Wilson. She's not one of the, she's a good rebounder, okay player, but she's not one of the elite players in the league.
Is she a good rebounder just because she gets her own rebound, or is she actually a good rebounder?
Like, she gets so many rebounds. I mean, she gets some just because she missed a layup, but she gets so many rebounds. Like, she has a function out there, but she's not like a superstar level player like an Asia Wilson who plays here in Las Vegas. But she stays in the headlines. Telling you, kid.
All right. Killod 22 on X says, do you feel comfortable going to the EU, European Union, knowing their AI will run background on your social media? Is that true?
I hope not, because I fly to London on Friday. That is a good question.
Get arrested in Ireland. Maybe Conor McGregor will be the president over there by then, and we won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no, that's very likely in the next 3 months to happen. So
I don't even know when their next election is, but I will be cheering for Conor McGregor to win the presidency.
I like Conor McGregor.
Speaking of an asshole, there's another one. Probably not qualified to be president, but way better than any socialist commie that they would elect.
Oh boy. I heard Conor McGregor.
I got a guy tell me that's not pretty communistic that they're going to run my background on my social media and tell me if I can come to the. Could you imagine? I fly there with Ann Helen and I get detained at the Dublin airport because of something I said on Twitter in 2015. That would suck.
I'm going to be at Heathrow in like 72 hours, less than 72 hours.
Okay, don't get kidnapped.
I don't want to get.
London's not doing great right now.
I'm going to Liverpool. Just fly into it.
You're just going to Heathrow and then another little tiny plane to Liverpool.
No, train.
Train. Big train guy?
They don't have flights from London to Liverpool. I would fly.
Oh, I just assumed they would.
It's a train. It's okay. Yeah, Liverpool.
You get the first class train like me and Ariel did in Italy, because I don't think it's probably worth it.
I'm not at your and Ariel's level.
No, it was like $70 more, and I was like, I expected a lot more for $70 more, and I was like, that was dumb.
Liverpool, last game of the season, Sunday. They're going to raise the Premier League trophy. The title parade is Monday. And then the Premier League season, unfortunately, is over, which sucks.
So you're basically going to England for 4 days?
Yeah. 4 days.
That's like a 12-hour flight.
10 and a half. I don't believe in jet lag.
I don't either.
Like, I'll just come back and I'll just wake up the next morning and I'll just go to work. It'll be nothing.
Yeah.
I don't believe in stuff like that.
No, people. Yeah. That's why I told everyone in Italy. I was like, we're not subscribing to jet lag. Granted,
no,
we slept on the plane. We had about 14 glasses of wine in the Delta One Club and some melatonin and some magnesium and a bunch of other concoctions, and slept like 8 hours on the plane. We woke up and there we were.
Are we going to do a show? So we're going to do a show on June 17th at the Las Vegas Country Club. We were invited by, I think, their head of marketing. He's a Kansas State grad. And we're going to do a show there, kind of cross-promote Las Vegas Country Club and the Westgate. Kelly's going to be here in town. Very exciting. Are we going to do a show between today and June 17th?
Probably not. My dad's getting cataract surgery. I've got a lot of stuff to do at WagerTalk, but I will let you know if I'm feeling frisky and we got stuff to talk about.
Please let me know. Hopefully, Angel Reese. Maybe another big Angel Reese incident. Can we? We can talk about that.
I don't understand it at all.
Let's do one last. I want to talk about the contest one last time because I don't know why so many people ask me about them. Everybody's asking me to do their shows. I don't really want to do the radio shows or the little clips yet. I want to wait until either the contest is live for signups or it's closer.
Do we have a live sign-up date yet?
July 1.
Okay.
July 1, all the contests, Super Contest Survivor, that's a $5,000 buy-in. The Super Contest College is a $500 buy-in, starts in August, because that first week of August, the last week of August, the games are awesome. Ohio State, Texas, all those games. Super Contest Regular is $1,500. Super Contest Gold, $5,000.
Can I get, since I'm going to be there 12 days early, can I just sign up while I'm there? So I please, for the love of God, don't have to come back to Vegas.
Can you break the law? Is that what you're saying?
It's the law.
Can you break the law?
It sounds like a Superbook rule. I don't think it's the law.
Someone's going to clip this of you breaking the law, and you're going to get arrested in Dublin because they're going to check your social media, man. They're going to be like, arrest that girl.
I think at that point, I would just have to laugh. I'd be like, is this real life? This is why I love America.
Super Contest. All the contests start July 1. The golf tournament is August 16th at the beautiful Las Vegas Country Club, where Kelly and I will be June 17th for a show. That's going to be fun. That will be fun.
Are we going to play a round of golf after, like a little twilight round, 9 holes?
That'd be awesome. I'd love to do that. That sounds great. Yeah.
We should do that.
Anything else you want to tell me before? Where are you jetting off to next week?
Not next week, but my dad, like I said, has cataract surgery. Then I have a wedding in Southern California, which is why I'm coming to Vegas, so I can write off all of my travels. Don't clip that and tell the IRS. And I'm going to get some evergreen content done at the Westgate. Going to do a podcast. Okay. And that's it.
And you'll probably go out to dinner with 72 of your close.
I did not plan dinner for Tuesday night. I'm only staying there one night.
Yeah.
But I did not plan dinner for Tuesday night yet because I figured you could probably buy me dinner at Edge Steakhouse.
Did our marketing director, Chris O'Brien, get you accommodations for that trip?
Yes.
You're staying here at the Westgate. Chris is great.
Isn't it great when you could just ask the hotel to take care of you and put you up in a nice suite instead of begging them on social media for one they're not going to give you?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I will say it's good to see you. You look refreshed. I was worried about you. I thought you were.
I feel like I got hit by a freight train.
You need to go get some rest, and I will see you in June.